If you spend much time with Rich Engler, you quickly realize he's a guy who's rubbed elbows with many of rock's great legends.
This is a guitar signed by Keith Richards at one of the Rolling Stones shows.
And everywhere Engler goes, people want to hear the dirt about what these rock icons are really like.
Hey, tell me a story. Tell me some of that stuff that goes on backstage. Then I tell them a story and they go, you gotta write a book, you have to do it.
And so he finally did. Behind the Stage Door tells the story of his 40 years of putting on huge rock and roll shows in Pittsburgh. One of his most glorious nights came in February of 1990. Paul McCartney at the Civic Arena. The sound check alone was awesome.
Starts playing Hey Jude. The hair on the back of my neck goes up. I'm right off stage. Nobody was in the arena at this point. He's there himself.
But this glorious moment soon turned sour when McCartney's agent approached Engler.
He goes, Rich, I don't think he can play. And I'm, wait a minute. I just heard one of the greatest things I ever heard. That was a sound check. He said, it may be to you, but Paul, his voice is not what he really wants it to be.
Engler scrambled to find 3 doctors to tend to McCartney's sore throat, and the show went on. There would be other nights of great anxiety, like the time a drunken Joe Cocker committed a grotesque act on stage. So gross, we can't even tell you about it, but it's all in the book. Then there was the night a very high Eric Clapton insisted it was his birthday. He demanded a party and a cake. Engler came through.
He goes, where's me blanking cake? And I said, over there. He picks it up, waiter style. He starts walking. He turns around and goes, hello. And bolts out the door.
Throughout his career, Engler's lovely and charming wife, Cindy, has been at his side. But at one Kiss concert, bass player Gene Simmons got a little too friendly with Cindy.
I go, no, what did he say? She goes, well, he said, I want to manhandle you. And I said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, Gene, I said, listen, you play the bass, I'll do the manhandling. Get it? He goes, oh, okay.
There were some sad nights in Engler's storied career, like the time he booked John Lennon at the Syria Mosque a couple of months before the show. We learned we'd never hear from John again.
Breaking news, John Lennon had been shot. That was it.
2 months before he was to play Pittsburgh.
Yep. That's one of the saddest music days of my life.
But most of the time, Engler's career was full of joy. Joy for him and joy for Pittsburgh music fans.
I was out to change the world through music, and hopefully I touched somebody along the way.
Well, we've just scratched the surface of the amazing stories of rock and roll antics in Engler's book. It's available at Giant Eagles, Crazy Mochas, and eventually Barnes & Noble. Thanks for all the great shows, Rich, and keep on rocking. I'm Paul Martino.